Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the CEP Equine Studios in downtown Ocala, the horse capital of the world, with Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship.
Woohoo!
How's your week been?
It's been busy. How about your week?
Extremely, yes, moving, quite overwhelming.
How was missing the hurricane?
That was a blessing, but our prayers and thoughts are certainly out there to those that were affected. I know there's some areas that have had some bad flooding and some damage, so our thoughts are with you, and please reach out if we have any equine concerns in any of those areas, that we might be able to connect you with somebody here in the horse capital and provide you with some assistance if it's needed. J&J TAC actually had a wonderful fundraising event this weekend for people with horses in those areas. So if you would like to donate or bring some feed or hay or anything that could be helpful, we'd be happy to connect you to the right people. We do think that's very important, and we want everybody to hopefully have electricity and all of their needs met during a difficult time of pickup and recovery. But we are very thankful that the horse capital...
It's interesting how close people were affected. Like, I talked to somebody that was only like 15, 20 minutes from where I am, and they had no electricity for a week. Yes,
actually, gentle carousel miniature therapy horses had no electricity.
Wow.
Yeah, and lots of down trees and things like that. And they're just north of Gainesville. So it was very difficult for some. But we have a great show lineup for you.
Woohoo!
After this, we have Dr. Adam Cayot. He's going to be talking about cellulitis from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We have Savannah Unger live in the studio with us for a couple of segments, and we're going to be talking horse with her, which looks like it'll be a lot of fun because she's a character.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it'll be very enjoyable. And then we have the one and only JNS Pressure Washing's Bubbles in the studio.
We got Bubbles. We're going to get it right from the horse's mouth.
That's right. And we've got some great questions for the horse, and we know that Bubbles will have extremely educated answers that will be helpful. It's all the questions you always wished you could get answers to and didn't, and we're going to find out. I said to Pete earlier today that eventually they'll probably invent a machine that reads horses' minds and puts it into English, or American English anyway.
English or American.
Yeah, American anyway. And until then, though, we have Dancing Pete and Bubbles from JNS Pressure Washing, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I always tell people, if they do make that technology, we'll never ride a horse ever again, because we'll find out the truth of what's going on. Saying.
Yep, you're probably right. Then we'll wrap it up with Dancing Pete's complimentary horsemanship tip of the week, and Ocala Dog Ranch's dog tip of the week.
Uncle Neil,
who, by the way, will be on the show very soon with Dr. Esther Brummond, and we're very excited about that coming up too. So,
I heard you missed me last week.
We did. I was talking to this chair, and so we had to move because it was very sad
that I wasn't there.
That you weren't there.
You told me not to come in.
Well, I was trying to keep people off the road because they said we were having a hurricane.
Okay.
Remember?
Well, I was planning on coming in, and then...
I know you're wondering why these untrained animals are in the studio with us.
Untrained?
Yes. They're actually going to go home with Dancing Pete because they need some hobby horse equestrian games lessons so that they are prepared and well trained for this wonderful event that's coming up.
I bet they ground tie will.
They do, actually. They're ground tied at the moment. Hobby Horse Equestrian Games, October 21st. Yeah, 10 to 6 p.m. We had to extend the event presented by AgPro, our great friends at AgPro, who we love. We've got some wonderful supporting sponsors, vendors, food trucks, hay rides, horse
Pat
demos.
Myers Electric.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
He's the man with the plan. He's going to be supporting the all-breed parade. I think we have about 65 horses signed up so far.
Oh,
which will
that's
be a lot of
Luisa's
fun.
favorite time.
Free admission for all ages. This event benefits Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy horses for education. And, of course, it's part of the Equine Initiative presented by Piranha Animal Health. We are going to have Hobby Horse Equestrian Games, show jumping, dressage, horse racing, mounted shooting, roping, barrel racing, and polo.
And, like I always say, this isn't just somebody we pulled off the street. These are professionals that come in and talk about their sport. So the polo was really inspiring for me last year because he's knowledgeable. It's not David. Very knowledgeable about
extremely.
polo. And we had reining person. And
Yes, so we're going to have
really
top equestrians teaching the sport, telling you what the rules are, and then judges to judge each sport, and we'll have ribbons to 6th place. And if you compete in all of those competitions and you have the most points overall, there will be a trophy at the end of the day and a reserve trophy for the 1st and 2nd place children or adults who will go in all of the equestrian games.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty exciting stuff. So thank you to AgPro and Piranha for supporting us. It'll be at the Florida Horse Park, and it will be October 21st from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please come and join us. We're going to start with the colors, the national anthem, followed by the parade, followed by the demos, followed by all of the hobby horse games.
And we have
with
lots
hay
of
rides
vendors.
all day, brought to you by
Larson's Hay.
Right, because you're going to sit on the best hay in the world, right? True fact.
Your butt can tell.
That's right. And then don't forget that Piranha Life is bringing us back their foundation benefit golf tournament November 3rd. Play with PGA Pro Ted Potter. And this event actually supports 3 501c3s, and they were able to give 10,000 to each last year, which was wonderful. Gentle Carousel is one of those 3, and then Canines for Warriors and the Florida Youth Ranch also. So 3 charities that are going to benefit. You can either form a team of 4 and play, or you can become a sponsor, or you can just show up and cheer people on. If you're one of the sponsors, you will get a sign at the golf hole, and you will...
The golf hole?
Yeah, the hole. You know, where you hit the ball?
You don't play golf, do you?
I don't. Not at all. I did once. It was very bad. But Piranha Life Golf Tournament, great fun. It was a wonderful event last year, so... yeah, definitely check that out. That's a wonderful event.
We need to get Ben in here. And
him and Tom is definitely going to be coming in
to
chat to us. Quick shout out to George from Florida HVAC Services. Such a good guy. Actually came to check out my system and that he installed for me in my new house. Florida HVAC Services are amazing, extremely professional, do a really, really good job. Not only that, but I named my thermostat after him because your thermostat has to have a name. And he's like, what do you want to call your thermostat? And I said, I think I should call it George. So my thermostat's named after him.
Does he speak in an English accent or Australian or
This thermostat
English?
Doesn't speak. I wish it did.
Oh.
But yeah, it did actually automatically shut itself off during the storm because it was trying to protect itself, which is how smart this air conditioner is. So he actually showed me the steps to very easily get it to turn back on, and also to set this to my phone. So if it gets really, really cool in the middle of the day, which would be a miracle, I can actually turn my air conditioner down on my phone at home.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing. And he took me from a 3 to a 2 in my unit, so a smaller unit with my new unit, and it cools the house more efficiently because I didn't need a 3 and shouldn't have had a 3 for that size house. And people don't realize that actually can backfire and make it not as efficient of a system. So,
wow.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I've learned a lot about air conditioning.
Well, we heard a sound. That means
we
this
have to go to
segment's
break.
done.
That's right. So we'll be coming back with Dr. Adam Cayot. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
Experience the bluegrass. Step into the Elwood Hotel and Suites, situated in the heart of Lexington. Elwood is a unique yet familiar place, your home base, to explore. Minutes from the University of Kentucky and the best distilleries on the Bourbon Trail. Only a short drive from horse country and from the iconic Keeneland racetrack. Full of warm, natural light, Elwood rooms are inviting, a space to retreat, rewind, and relax. From spacious rooms to extended stay suites. Each room is unique, just like you. Don't miss a beat in your fitness routine either, and your furry friend is welcome too. Elwood has cozy beds, yummy treats, and snuggles too. Elwood is more than a landing place. It's a tribute to a contemporary southern lifestyle, a delicious place to refuel and to launch your Lexington adventure. Book your stay at theelwoodhotel.com and like them on Facebook now. Settle in at Elwood and begin generating memories in the heart of the bluegrass. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hay ride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Lisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show, the CEP's Equine Initiative, and Equus Television here with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We're going to talk about a topic that I've had pop up a lot lately in social media, and that is cellulitis. Dr. Cayot, Thank you for being with us. Tell us a little bit about cellulitis. I know it starts off with a swollen limb, generally.
So what happens is cellulitis is basically a bacterial infection of the skin. Bacteria enter through either a break in the skin or through
Cracked heel, maybe.
Cracked heel, which would be a break, you know, or even through the hair follicles. It can get in there. People can get cellulitis too. It's very painful. It's categorized by swelling, and sometimes extreme swelling of typically the limbs. That's where horses get it. They get it on their typically lower limbs, but that swelling will progress up the limb if left untreated. And so it's very painful. A lot of times horses don't want to walk. They don't want to bear weight on that limb sometimes. It's very painful to palpation. So if you grab it, they'll pick the leg up like, ouch, that really hurts. And the common response to that is obviously the pain, but then we call it pitting edema, where if I grab a hold of it, my fingerprints will be left in there. It pits where I put pressure on. So you have that pitting edema. Cellulitis can be linked in with lymphangitis. So that's obviously swelling of the lymph system, and the horse depends on the lymph system in the limbs to pump blood and flow fluid up and down the limbs. So lymphangitis can be associated with cellulitis. They can be very, very difficult to treat. The number one thing is anti-inflammatories and antibiotics, and try to get them on it as soon as you can. I like to tell people keep the limb clean and dry. I'm not big on salves and stuff like that to put on. There are some out there and that are cellulitis salves or whatever. I don't tend to use those too much because I feel like those salves just collect dirt, you know, and they keep the dirt on the leg.
They keep the dirt on the leg,
Yep.
yeah.
And I try to have people keep the leg clean and dry, because down here, when I came down here, they call it dew poisoning. That's another
Yes.
slang term. And,
Right.
and the reason they call that is because if the horse is out in the grass in the morning with the dew, the water gets on the legs, and then the dirt collects onto the leg, and it just never goes off, and that can lead to cellulitis. That can lead to the bacterial infection, because then the leg gets irritated, the skin gets irritated, bacteria gets in that. You know, if they get a cut or there's a little bit of weepage or whatever, because of that, that's how it starts. And so up north where I grew up, we called it scratches. That's what they called it up there. And you'll get that like greasy heel that you were talking about, or in the back of the pasture, and they'll get those cracks, and then you can get it through that. That's very common.
So any opening, any
opening,
right.
if they get a little cut on their leg, they can get cellulitis from it. Now,
so to be aware of that, if there is some kind of trauma to the leg and you have a cut, keep your eyes out.
Keep your eyes out. Try to keep it clean. If you think antibiotics are warranted, or you think your veterinarian should be called, certainly you should do that.
Because it can get more serious.
Oh, absolutely, and it'll happen like that. I mean, you'll go out in the morning, and the horse will look normal, and then by feeding time in the evening, they'll have a stovepipe leg. I mean, it can happen that quickly, and they're really painful. And some of them take. I just had one that, some of them take a few days and they get better, and then I had one that took like 3 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we were treating that horse for like 3 weeks, and it finally came back down. But they can be very frustrating, and the sooner you jump on it, the better off you are. But clean and dry.
Horse is, so clean and dry is really important. But if a horse is actually on that uncomfortable leg long enough and doesn't want to be weight bearing, they tend to more often be rear legs, I think. And then they don't want to stand. They've got more weight on the front, so then you risk the laminitis as possible.
That's
right?
true. I can't say that it happens in the rear legs more than the front. I think it's equal opportunity. Equal opportunity. So
maybe depends on where the cracks are, right?
Yeah, it just depends on that. But typically they're still able to bear weight on the leg, so that helps mitigate the chance of laminitis in the good or the opposing leg. But
if you let it get too bad,
but you let it get going bad, it's not
anything
fun.
with one of those forelegs can end up being
Absolutely.
a bigger issue if you don't take care of it. So it's really important to get on it quick.
Right.
with the antibiotics and the anti-inflammatories and just help the horse get over it and hope it doesn't take 3 weeks.
Yes, exactly. Because it can be frustrating. It's frustrating for the owner. It's frustrating for us as veterinarians because, we're trying to like, gosh, dong, I'm giving this thing everything I can give it. So some of them can be frustrating for sure.
Okay, very good. Cellulitis. So if your horse has any kind of cut, dew poisoning, cracks in the heels, anything like that, it's definitely something to be aware of. Then if you see the swelling in the limb, something to contact your veterinarian or Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital. If they're not your vet, maybe they should be. Louisa Barton here with Dr. Adam Cayot at the Florida Horse Park for the Horse Talk Show and Equus TV. Dr. Cayot, always so informative there at the Florida Horse Park, visiting the mini horse and the mini donkeys. We are going to try and call somebody. I have not given him anything but a 2-minute warning that we're going to try and call Kevin Rizzo.
Warning?
Yes.
So this is going to go really bad?
It's going to go really bad. So
or it's going to go really good?
We have our 10-year anniversary coming up in December, and we are celebrating. We have a logo that we are going to be using for probably about 12 months or so. So December 13th was actually our first show, and Kevin Rizzo ran the board back then when it was just radio and podcasts. So we're going to try and call Kevin now, completely unwarned, except for 2 minutes, and we're going to see if we can reach him.
Hi, we're on the air is what we need to start with.
And hi, we're on the air, and we are going to invite him to come and be with us.
Kevin Rizzo.
You know that voice.
That's who introduces her.
This is Louisa Barton.
And Dancing Pete Rhoda.
That's right. And we're leaving you this voicemail on air to let you know that we're officially inviting you to come and be with us on December the 12th, which will be the closest show to our 10-year anniversary. Woo-hoo. And on that morning, live in the studio, for the very first time, I was a nervous wreck. And thank you to you, Kevin, for all your fantastic jokes and your big voice, and you got me through that morning. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you on air today, and then I want to invite you to come and talk about that first show that we did, and we can have a good laugh. So that's my message. I hope you get it, and we hope that you can be here with us so we can celebrate 10 years of the Horse Talk Show. Woo-hoo. Thank you for putting up with me all that time on those many Saturday mornings. There you go.
I got one to lay down.
Oh, so coming soon.
Oh, no.
Yes, coming soon is the training and preparation of the hobby horses for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games. These particular hobby horses that you see right here will be going to the farm of Dancing Pete Rhoda for some
5-horse Liberty.
Yeah. For some intense training in preparation for the Hobby Horse Games presented by AgPro on October 21st. So he doesn't have long enough, really. Do you have long enough?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I can get him ground tying at least.
At least, right? In 30 days? What is it?
Yes,
No, it's
definitely.
a little bit more than that. It's about 6 weeks.
Okay, 6 weeks, yeah.
Good. You're good, right? You're good.
Yeah.
So these hobby horses will have a new lease on life very soon. Thank you to Dancing Pete, and they will be prepared for the games. They'll probably be the best prepared hobby horses at the equestrian games, right?
Oh yes,
Don't
definitely.
you think?
You better pick one of these.
You better want to ride one of these. I wanted a quick shout out for Betsy from Larson Hay.
Idaho's finest alfalfa and Ocala's finest lady. She just showed up in studio just a second ago.
She and actually I want to thank her because she connected me with Savannah Unger, who is our next guest for a couple of segments on the show. So we're going to enjoy having her with us. And I want to thank Larson Hay. She's actually been a customer of Larson Hay since 2016 because customers of Larson Hay, they just stay because it's
Idaho's finest alfalfa. She has a button and a chain just in case.
So we're going to have Savannah with us for the next couple of segments. And then, of course, you got to stick around because all the questions you ever wanted to ask your horse are going to get answered for you. Every couple of weeks, we have Bubbles in the studio from JNS Pressure Washing. Please message me with your questions. These are questions that you would like to ask your horse that you perhaps don't know the answer to.
Or don't want to know the answer to.
Yeah, Pete thinks maybe you don't want to know the answer, but we really do. And this is an opportunity for you to get those questions to us, and we will happily air them on the show. You can either comment below with those questions, or you can message me directly, Louisa Barton, and I will make sure we get the question on air for you and hopefully get you the best answer possible to those. So we have some great questions today for you, from you guys, for Bubbles.
And this is a fun segment, so don't get too serious with people.
Yes, and we're
making it broad and understanding for the horse.
That's right. And our little disclaimer is, of course, that if you ask 10 horse people a question, you'll probably get 11 answers. So we're not necessarily answering...
And only one's correct.
That's right. Only Pete's.
No, I always say that. And only one's correct, but if you get them in the same room, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I believe that too, until they walk out of the room.
So true. All right, we got to wrap up this segment. Coming back with Savannah Unger. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the show is presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. At Crystal Cryo, you can relax and enjoy a non-invasive cryo skin facial. Reduce fine lines and wrinkles and tighten the skin. Improve texture and tone. Stimulate collagen production. Reduce inflammation and acne. And increase blood flow to the skin, resulting in a more youthful, radiant appearance. And it all takes only about 30 minutes. Boost your confidence now and set up a consultation. Find Crystal Cryo at crystalcryo.net or on social media. Experience the ultimate in relaxation and rejuvenation. Pamper and revitalize your body, mind, and spirit at Crystal Cryo.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson & Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? JNS Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. JNS Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton in the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital of the world with Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship And we have a special guest in the studio with us, Savannah Unger, Savannah Show Stables, LLC, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Wonderful. Savannah, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me. It's going to be a fun night.
I know we met before at Abby Slavin's Christmas party. Ugly sweater party. That was it. Ugly sweaters. I think
it was a combined Christmas party and ugly sweater party.
I think it was indeed, yes. And I did remember you actually when you came in. I was like, oh, yes, we met. I'm much
Who
better
had the
at
uglier
faces.
sweater?
I don't know. Mine was really ugly.
I remember running to Target that night and struggling to find an ugly sweater.
Yeah,
so.
It wasn't easy. They run out of ugly sweaters at Christmas time because everybody does it, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we should do something different, like an ugly hobby horse.
Ugly hat day.
There you go, something different. Savannah, tell us a little bit about your background in the horse world and kind of what got you the horse bug.
My family, I was born into a horse family. My mom was a rider, and she's actually from South America, and she rode in Paraguay, married my dad, and had my brother and I. My brother did not get the horse bug. Unfortunately, he might be the smartest one out of the family, actually.
He's probably got more
Does he have a real job?
Yes, yeah. He's a little bit more normal than I am, I guess you could say. He's a rule follower, and yeah, like it has a 9 to 5, correct? Which, you know, the barn, it's not 9 to 5. It feels
never
like
9 to 5.
24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. the following 2 days.
And it never stops. It never stops. But my mom rode, and I started riding when I was little, and she gave us both, my brother and I, the option. We both started out on ponies, and I fell in love with it. It's kind of like a drug, you know. It is. Except more expensive is what they say.
It's like a drug, but more expensive. How about that? That seems to somehow fit, doesn't it?
So, yeah, we both started out riding, my brother and I, and he decided it wasn't for him, and I decided that I loved it, and wanted to make a career out of it one day, and I was lucky enough to be able to. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting growing up, right? Like comparing a life into the horses when you go to school with so-called normal kids, and you say, "Oh, what are you doing this week?" "I'm going to cheer. I'm going to camp." And I tried out a bunch of other sports, and my mom, I think, was encouraging of like going out and trying different things, but I didn't enjoy it as much. Like it came natural, you know. I think you either have the horse bug or you don't.
This is true. Yeah, it's true, actually. And you know that I think sometimes there are people who don't have the opportunity necessarily to be, you know, exposed to them early in life. We were fortunate that, you know, you did, I did. But I think that later on in life, some people do get the bug just because that's the first time they have the chance. But having it with you all the way through your childhood, yeah, like Pete.
Yeah.
I didn't have the bug until I got to college. And
right.
I had a choice, pick an emphasis, and it was like, well, you train horses, and that's what I wanted to do was train animals, and so there, and now where I'm at, I didn't go to vet school, but
right,
here
exactly.
I am.
No, and I think when you have the opportunity as a kid, it's really special because you get to grow up around them, and when you have a family that's involved as well, that's really important. And makes it special. You have been a Larson Hay customer since 2016.
A long time. I was just telling Betsy, I said last time, or when we started as a Larson Hay customer, I had braces and bleach blonde hair, so maybe that's not a time I want to remember.
That's the photo we should have.
I think they probably have one somewhere.
I think me too, actually. I think I had bleached blonde hair and braces when I started.
Everyone has to try bleached blonde hair once. This time it's purple, just for a couple weeks.
Well, that's nice. That's like breeder's
I did
cut.
not have bleached blonde hair. I had highlights with a perm and a mullet.
You had a mullet?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay. This just gets better.
Let's see a picture of that.
This is a photo we need for next week on the show, Isaac.
Okay.
If we can make arrangements to get the mullet picture in, I'd like to see it.
I'm sure you have one somewhere.
Oh, yes, I do.
How many horses on the farm?
Too many. We wrote on the board the other day. We said, please, no more horses. No, we have a 46 on the farm right now.
And what do you do with all 46?
We try to sell them. No, so
they feed them Larson Hay, which means they look well.
We are a great customer because of how many mouths we have to feed. So we have to do a little bit of everything. I think it's quite unique what we do at our farm because it's we have so many different types of horses. It's really diverse. Mainly jumpers, showing and sales. My family has a big sale operation. Last year we looked, I think they sold 149 or 150 horses, all sold privately. A lot of repeat customers. So my job is I get to ride the family-owned sale horses. My family only brings in horses that they personally own to resell, and I'm able to train and ride the family horses. And then because we got so busy, we hired an outside trainer to help at the farm because we had a lot of training inquiries and outside clients wanting to come in, which I was unable to do. So now we have an outside trainer that helps, that bases out of our farm, which is really nice. It's taken the load off of us a little bit.
That's a lot.
And then we've started I'm not going to call it a breeding business. I'm going to call it a breeding hobby at the moment because it's brand
Unless
new.
you're doing your taxes, then it's a business.
Yes.
I think there might be actually a picture of you with a foal. I think we might have, maybe.
Yeah, we had 3 foals born this year. That's little Finn.
Little Finn.
Yeah, it's the breeding. It's super exciting, but it's very stressful. When everything goes right, it goes right, and when everything goes wrong, it goes wrong.
I know.
I was looking back. We had 3 foals born this year, and we were looking back to see how many mares we bred and how many times we tried, and I think something like 14 or 15 times we bred separate mares. We got three foals, so. Maybe that was for the best. We probably didn't need that many, right? But it makes it even more special when they hit the ground and they're healthy. And it's you try so hard because you can mix all the bloodlines together and you think you're going to get something, but you can also mix the bloodlines and get something that's going to be special in another discipline. So it's working out right now, and we're going to let the foals choose to see what they would like to do. We had a homebred about 7. Yeah, he's coming 7. That's turned out nice, and my mom keeps saying, because I hold such a high expectation for them. It's like your children, right? Like you hold a higher expectation to the homebreds than you do the sale horses.
Right.
So
you started with them. They started their life with you, and so
you hold them to such a higher standard, which might not be fair, but
there's a question for Bubbles. Why do you hold me so high standards?
That's right, because I bred you.
Yeah, because it's by the time you start showing them and riding them, people don't realize once they hit the ground, that's already a year or 2 of planning. So it's a dream. We'll see how it pans out. I'll be back in a couple years and let you know how the homebreds actually turned out at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really think about how long that process is. I mean, you've got deciding on the sire and dam, and then
what?
Got dam.
Okay, just checking.
I'm British.
I know.
Then you've got the getting ready, getting the preparations, which actually Dr. Cayot's talked about, preparing, for the breeding, and then you've got the checking to see if it all worked out, and then you've got the long gestation period, and then you've got the foal coming and all the startup foundation stuff and all the vet work and everything.
Hoping they come out with straight legs.
Yeah, straight legs is a big thing. Straight legs is a very fortunate if you get straight legs. There's lots of foals born with all sorts of issues that take a lot of time, and you don't know how that's going to work out. And then you've got a really, really long time before you start even under saddle from that point. So I mean, it's a process.
It is a process, and we're enjoying every minute of it
so
right
much
now.
Fun. There's nothing cuter than a foal. Sorry, nothing cuter.
They're really cute, but I can't spoil them too much. I'm a little bit guilty for doing that.
I can totally understand. That was the Winnie. So the good news is we have a second segment with Savannah Unger. So stay with us on the Horse Talk Show, and we'll be right back for the second half.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now, here's your host,
Pretty,
Louisa Barton! She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hayride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala, the horse capital of the world, with Dancing Pete Roder from Complimentary Horsemanship and special guest courtesy of Betsy at Larson Farms. We have Savannah Unger here in the studio, and we've been talking about the fortunate she was to grow up in a horse family, how she just took on the love bug for the horses, and how she's been successful in her horse career. And she has 46.
We got logo behind you.
We do. And she has 46 horses on the farm, eating Larson hay, so they're very healthy and happy horses. And we've been talking a little bit about their breeding program they've started, and they've had a few foals successfully, and she's loved that. But we want to talk about a couple of special horses. Well, let's start with Fabio.
Yes, I shouldn't have favorites, but he is. And I think all the other horses in the barn know it. He has a pretty unique story, actually. We looked at him. My mom picked him out as a sale horse. We went over to Europe on a horse buying trip, and she said, he's going to be a perfect amateur mount to sell. He's so quiet and just simple. And we had him only a couple months at our facility, and someone had tried him twice, and there was a vetting arranged on him the following day. And unfortunately, back when I look back, it was a really scary moment. He had colicked really badly, and the day before vetting, it was a double whammy. Like, oh my gosh, the horse is colicking. I almost had him sold, and so he unfortunately had to go through colic surgery, and
which can be we've actually had Dr. Cayot talk on that topic. It can be very serious and very severe, and horses can recover, but maybe not to the level that you would hope, and certainly maybe not compete.
Yes, very much so. And so it was a little unguarded. We didn't know how he was going to go. I never had a horse through colic surgery, and you hear a lot of horror stories through it, so I didn't know what to expect. And it was really tough for the first couple weeks. This had happened 7 years ago now. We had just had a hurricane, and I was looking back, and the hurricane had come through at that time too, so maybe it was with the pressure changing. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Everyone has different opinions, but he had colicked, and I asked the vets, I said, well, what do we do now? And they said after he rests, and recovers, bring him back slowly and just start riding him again, but be very careful. And so we went through all the recovery process and got him back going. And we thought he was going to be a hunter at the time because he was so quiet and a bit lazy. He still is a bit lazy. And we just started jumping him higher and higher. And my mom said, well, look, how are we going to sell a horse with colic surgery now? Because so many people are scared of it. She said, just see what you can do with him. And we kept going up through the levels. And he turned into one of my best Grand Prix horses at the moment.
And we have some video, actually. He's a dark bay, right? So we have some videos of him. Actually, it really turned into an amazing horse for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super lucky to have him, and he's no longer for sale.
He had a plan.
My family might say otherwise, but yeah, he's a good boy, and he's my little miracle horse, and he just goes. It doesn't matter where you get him at the fence. You just put his eye on it, and it's unique because most horses you have to set up and get a good distance, and everyone says, well, how does he go? And I said, you just gallop him at the fences, and he's going to go and take care of you. And he's smart because he's one of the rare horses you can run at a fence, and he literally, like 3 strides out, you feel his body backing up to not hit the rail. I think that makes him a competitor. I've never had a horse that you can let go like that and wants to leave the rails up. And we learn together, so they say green horses and green riders are not necessarily the best team, and it was not at first. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows by any means, but 7 years later, we formed a good partnership, and he's very kind. I think he knows when it's important, and I've been able to jump a couple big classes with him, and the Grand Prix at WEC, and he took me into my first $100,000 Grand Prix, and he's funny because I think he can tell when I'm nervous, and I think that he knows that it's more important than...
He goes, doesn't he? Boy, oh boy. He's got some turn of foot. That's no doubt about that.
He can move for a fat boy. We always joke in the barn, the poor horse, he gets a scoop of grain and he stays fat. And he likes his alfalfa. Don't take his alfalfa away. He will get offended.
I was going to say,
Idaho's finest.
Alfalfa.
He's the first one to get fed in the barn, and all the other horses know it.
Oh, well, he's gorgeous, too. What a love.
Don't complain about air plants. That's what I always say. My horses are air plants, so don't complain.
we love all 46 of the horses, but we have another one to talk about.
Yes. Heaven Sent.
Heaven Sent. Great name.
He's one of our homebred foals this year that was born. We named him Heaven Sent because we tried so many times with this mare I think 6 or 7 times. It was a mare that my grandmother had purchased. She's unfortunately passed away, and the mare was named Nana Mia because I called my grandmother Nana. Aww. And after trying so many times, the mare would get in foal and lose it. She'd get in foal and lose it. And so we ended up doing an embryo transfer, which was also quite a process, a very unique process. And I have to look back 6 or 7 times. It was a lot, and it was a lot of heartache because you get so excited, right? When the mare's finally in foal, and then you go and there's no foal at the 30-day check. So it was a very hard process to get him here. And when he was born, we were watching him be born, and we thought he was coming out of the surrogate mare, and we were like, oh, he's a chestnut. Both of his parents, mom and dad, are both chestnut, and he had this most unique roaning all over him. I guess there he is pictured. They say he's a Sabino with a Rabicano. Is his color. Yeah, and you don't see it a lot in the warm bloods. We registered in Westphalian, and we brought him to his inspection, and he was site champion there. They liked the way he was put together, I guess, and his movements. So
put a butt on him. Sorry, but my goodness,
he
what
has
a rump!
A quarter horse booty.
He does, doesn't he?
He's got a 6-inch difference to his withers.
I know, he's such a big
He's got
bull.
the butt like every girl wants. Sorry, I mean.
Wow, we are taking it to another level today, guys.
Sorry,
hold on to your horses.
We're in the second half. We're good.
It's such a special coloring. You really
gorgeous.
Everyone always asks, well, what breed is he? And I tell them he's a Westphalian. He's a warm blood, and they look at me like I have 3 heads. Like there's no way. And they say, are you sure that it's the correct breed? Yes.
You sure he's not an Appaloosa?
Maybe we can double register him as one.
You
Wouldn't that be
he's lovely though, isn't he?
Thank you. So hopefully if he continues to come up the levels. He looks nice as a young horse, so time will tell, right? Looks good now, and hopefully he continues to impress us later on, and he can be one of our first stallion prospects. But he has a long way to go to prove himself still.
Yeah.
Look at that blaze.
So how can people find out more about your farm, more about the sales, follow you? I know you have some great little videos and reels and things I saw on your social media. How can people find out more and find you if they want to buy a horse and know that they can come to a reputable source here in the horse capital?
We have a Facebook page. It's under Savannah Show Stables LLC on Facebook, and we post all of the sale horses and anything special that's happening right on there, and they can see the pictures and the videos and the show records and see if anything catches their eye.
That's wonderful. And you have how many for sale usually at a time? Quite a few?
Yeah, we always keep about 15 to 20 on hand. Wow. So if you want to come, we'll give you a package deal.
That's right, you come and get 7.
Buy
right?
2, get the third one free.
That's what you wish for, right?
That's right. So what about bucket list for you? Like, what's your biggest goal that you want to accomplish?
Well, everyone has goals. I think if I said I was a dreamer and I dreamed of anything, everyone wants to do the Olympics, right? So at some point I would like to get my Paraguayan citizenship because my family is from there and have dual citizenship and my mom qualified for the Olympic team when she was young, so I would like to follow in her footsteps and see, but that's a long way. Time will tell. Right now I'm just enjoying the ride and enjoying the horses.
Well done. Savannah Unger, it was lovely to have you with us. We'd love to have you back anytime. We could do like 2 more segments. Thank you to Larson Hay very much for the introduction. Savannah Show Stables LLC, check them out. If you're looking for a horse, it's the place to go, and you'll get to chat to Savannah. So we'll be back in just a minute. We have Bubbles with us from JNS Pressure Washing, and you know what that means. We're about to have some horsing around fun. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship. And that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses! Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? JNS Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. JNS Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Stephen at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with Dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship, and
Bubbles
is here from
the
JNS.
talking horse.
Yes, JNS Pressure Washing horse. Bubbles.
All right, you guys ready to have some fun and get some questions answered right from the horse's mouth?
Yes. Quick disclaimer, first of all. These questions are, of course, based on opinion. You may not agree, and you feel free to comment. We also would like some more questions from you, our viewers. So if you're watching on Facebook, you can post those questions below. If you're watching on Equus Television, then you can find us on Facebook at The Horse Talk Show and message me. If you're listening on the radio, you can also find us on social media and message us at either Instagram or Facebook. We would be happy to hear from you. He's a snuggler. I love a horse that snuggles. Pete would not agree with me.
No. Okay. So, Bubbles, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So the first question we have is, why do you roll in the mud right after a bath?
Because I didn't want a bath.
Oh.
No, your clean is different than my clean. Just because you think I stink, I don't think I stink. You want me to smell like fruit and flowers, and I just want to smell like the dirt because I don't want the other animals to smell me and think that I'm different. Or for predators to come and smell me from far away because I smell weird now instead of dirt. And sometimes I just like use like natural sunblock and insect repellent, like mud. So, I mean, and it's fun. Have you ever rolled around in the dirt after a bath?
No. Well, when I was little.
And if you live in Florida, it's warm. So you can be itchy too.
Yeah, very itchy. And if you haven't tried it, then don't judge me.
Yeah. So maybe it's time to do some off studio, out of studio, rolling in the dirt at the farm.
Sure.
And filming it,
and
so we can see what it feels like.
And then we'll get some pressure washing done.
Next time you see your horse rolling in the dirt, try to join them instead of judging them. Just try it out one time.
All right, let's go on to question number 2. Why do you jump the first red jump, but spook at the second one when it was identical to the first?
Well, I was just trying to throw you for a minute. I like to have my fun too.
Whoa.
No, okay, so honestly, it could have been a shadow. It could have been something that kind of spooked me a little bit. Maybe it was your body language. Could have been body language. Maybe you were looking somewhere else and I was just kind of reading you and you accidentally gave me the wrong signal. So it could be several things.
Maybe it's the rider.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe it's the rider going, phew, we made it over the first red jump.
I'd say it's more than likely the rider than me.
Oh. Don't blame the horse. Good one. Okay. Why do you poop in your water bucket? Was it deliberate?
Maybe. Maybe I was just bored. Maybe I just wanted to see if I could score a couple points.
Maybe your water was dirty and you were trying to make a point. It's time to change it.
Maybe I wanted to make you clean the water. Or maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe just the bucket happened to be there when I just needed to do my business. I mean, I'm a horse. I don't wait for the right time to go. When I gotta go, I just kind of go.
Yeah, they're not like people who have to be at home.
You guys go in
Some people have to be at home to poop.
We have to learn to hit the water.
We just go wherever we need to go. So it could have been intentional. It might not have been intentional. You just have to wonder about that one.
Could have been an attention getter.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe the horse likes the sound of it landing in the water.
Bloop. It's the closest thing I have to your toilets.
That's true.
All right. Question number 4. Why are there some days you follow me around in the field watching my every move, and some days you do not want to be caught? What can I do as your owner to be better with you on that?
Some days I follow you around in the field watching your every move because I know you're up to something. You're up to something. And then sometimes I just want to be left alone. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes it depends on like what we did the day before. Were we training hard the day before? Maybe today I just want to be a horse and go have some fun and run around. And sometimes you'll come outside and you'll do horse stuff, and sometimes we'll do training stuff, and sometimes we do people stuff. But I feel like, you know, the days that I don't want to do the training is like maybe we train too hard for a couple days and I just need some days to horse around.
This is true. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Could be also body language, my body language.
Yeah.
I could have that authoritarian, I'm coming out to get you to ride you kind of a look, rather than what is she poking around at in the field, and is it something I can get into and
Or
check
she's
out?
moving and she's not in a good mood.
Yeah, maybe you're really stressed out from work or something, and then you come out there with the wrong attitude, and I'm like, don't come at me with that attitude. I don't deserve that. Yeah, I'm a good horse. Bubbles is a good horse. I deserve the best attitude.
Is there any other answers to that one, Bubbles?
Let's see. Horsey time versus training time, my mood that I'm in. I mean, there's probably lots of answers that are right and wrong, but I mean, that's just a couple of answers.
All right, here we go. Number 5. Why can we walk past lots of scary things on the way to the trails, like trash cans and mailboxes, but some rustling leaves in the wind makes you jump?
Well, I'm not as scared of trash cans and mailboxes. You think they're scary?
No.
I don't think they're scary. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Yes, some horses think that they're scary sometimes. So you didn't smell that mountain lion pee when the wind blew those leaves? Oh. See, I smelled that. I knew it was there, and you didn't know it was there. So maybe sometimes instead of the horse having to listen to you, maybe you should listen to the horse. Ooh, yeah. So sometimes, like the rustling leaves is more of a natural sound where there may be a predator or something in the wilderness that we're kind of more in tune to, versus something that's stationary and smells like plastic, like a trash can, or metal, like a mailbox. So. It's a lot of our instincts as a horse and as an animal to notice things that might be a little unnatural in a natural setting.
That it kind of explains the wind blowing thing, because horses do tend to be spookier on windier days, and that would be scents possibly blowing in.
Have you seen the size of my nose? I mean, I can smell things that you can't smell. So
yes, that does make sense. But I had never thought about that in reference to wind, but that makes so much sense. Yeah, it really does.
All righty.
So now we have a JNS pressure washing question for you, which is the bonus question here, and that is...
For 50 points.
That's way more than I get for pooping in the bucket.
So, pressure washing the trailer, why is that important?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
I get tired of being in that stinky trailer. I mean, you gotta kind of hose it out a little bit, but do you ever really get down in the boards? Or do you ever get the corrosive urine out of the metal? I mean, you can't just muck a trailer. You gotta really clean it sometimes. At least once a year, maybe. At least. Give me a break. I get stuck in this thing a lot and moved around. Do you want to sit in that trailer for hours on end?
With it being stinky?
With it being stinky?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
I tell you what. If you won't come and lay down in that trailer with me, then you should probably call JNS to clean it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And you know, Bubbles made a very good point, which is urine is very, very, very corrosive to all surfaces, and if it sits for long enough, it can rot away things, and you can end up needing to replace boards if you have boards in your trailer much faster. It can definitely cause lots of corrosion going on that, one, of course, is not going to decrease the life of your trailer.
And make sure you flip those mats, because sometimes there's hidden stuff in those mats.
Right. Just take them out and clean the mats too.
Yes, yeah. So how do we reach JNS pressure washing if we
call.
would like our barns
Right.
or
You can-
trailers washed?
You can go to JNS online, or you can reach us on Facebook at JNS Pressure Washing, or you can call the number 352-502-5355.
Wow.
502-5355.
He didn't
Thanks,
even have to tap that one out.
He didn't. Bubbles will be
Smarter than
back.
average horse.
So
You are.
we hope you guys enjoyed the Bubbles comment, and we'll see you in a few more minutes for our last segment.
Yeah, stay with us on the Horse Talk Show, and Bubbles will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equigreen, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Reboot Self-Care Center in Ocala is the future of integrative healthcare, utilizing natural self-care protocols and the finest in modern technology. Instead of treating you, we are teaching you. Learn how to combat threats to your own health and protect your family. For weight control, performance enhancement, anti-aging, self-detoxing, or preparing for pregnancy, Reboot Self-Care will teach you how to improve your own health. Like us on Facebook now and find us on the web at rebootselfcare.com.
Join us for the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games presented by Ag Pro Companies of Ocala, October the 21st at the Florida Horse Park. Enjoy the parade of horse breeds, take a free hay ride, and learn horse sports by competing from the safety of a stick horse. Win ribbons and prizes in barrel racing, show jumping, calf roping, racing, polo, plus food trucks and a vendor village. Don't forget to horse around with us on October the 21st, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all ages. This event is part of the CEP's Equine Initiative presented by Piranha.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
He does his big voice for that.
That was my big voice. This is the last segment. We've got to do the big voice. My radio voice.
Louisa Martin here in the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala, the horse capital of the world, with dancing Pete Roda from Complimentary Horsemanship. And that brings me to a rather important part of the show. Dancing Pete, horsemanship tip of the week.
Dancing Pete's tip of the week, brought to you by Complimentary Horsemanship. Okay.
Off you go.
Our tip of the week, I got one standing on the head. Already, look at that. Hadn't even got to my place yet. So the tip of the week is passive stimulus or passive movement, which means things that are happening like saddling, moving your bridle over, rubbing and grooming. Those are all passive stimulus. Okay, so what do we want our horses to do when we're doing passive stimulus? We want them to stand still. Or when we're mounting, I want my horse to stand still. Right?
That would be better.
That would be better. And then I break that down into 3 parts. Stand still, So if I start the passive stimulus and they're not standing still, I'm going to do it until they stop. Once I have that consistent, then I'm going to do it until they relax or connect. That's the second part. So they either look at me and go, "What are you doing?" I go, "Good answer," and I'll stop. You know, it almost fell on me. And then the third part, which is startup. So when I'm doing the standstill, do they go for just a second? So then what I need to do is keep doing it until they relax again, then stop it, which release teaches, and then start it up again until they go, "Oh, that doesn't bother me anymore." So that's the tip of the week. So breaking down passive stimulus, because that's the part where I see people do stuff like that, but horses only stand still. Or they stand still and relax, but every time you start it, they go, and they get shocked for a second. So that's the tip of the week.
Very good. Excellent. And Ocala Dog Ranch.
Uncle Neil.
Uncle Neil. I think we have a tip of the week coming. If not, we have a shout out for him, for certain. Yes, let's do a shout out. So, my dogs went over to Ocala Dog Ranch to stay while I was moving. And Dr. Esther Brummond asked if she could visit Aslan with his leg issue, his cruciate issue, while he was there. And she has been visiting him every day. And she has been doing cold laser therapy on him. And Neil and his staff have been doing 5 walks a day on the leash to get him exercise to strengthen that leg. And the improvement with all of this care and discipline has been absolutely stupendous. And I don't want to cry, but I can't say enough about Ocala Dog Ranch, about Neil, about his staff, about everything they've done. And Dr. Esther Brummond and her husband, Johan, they're off the charts. I mean, they are 2 chiropractors who know their stuff. They're both human chiropractors, but Dr. Esther took the certification for animals. And I have never met 2 people with bigger hearts, except I think right in line with them is Neil. And Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch, you can take your dogs there and know they don't just get cared for, they get loved like they're owned by the people who own Ocala Dog Ranch, and the care. And then over the holiday weekend, Esther asked if it was possible for Aslan to stay for longer because she wanted to keep up the exact routine they were on. And she knew with me moving, it was going to be very hard for me to keep up that exact routine. And Neil said, "We will work it out." So even on a holiday weekend when he was full, he said absolutely, and took care of them. So
because we know at home, somebody doesn't have much time even when they're not moving.
Right. And moving, the extra stress of all of that, it's very hard to stay on a schedule the way that they were. And so the discipline and the care, and I just can't say enough about it. And Isaac and I are going out to Ocala Dog Ranch to interview both of them together about this process and how well it's worked. So, consider that if you're in a situation where your dog needs some kind of treatment like that, a place like Ocala Dog Ranch can do that for you. If you can't do it at home because you work all day, those folks are fantastic. And Dr. Esther Brummond and her husband are just an amazing couple who have just done wonders with this torn cruciate situation to help Aslan be sound again. So I'm so grateful to both of those different groups of people. And then I just want to talk about Gentle Carousel miniature therapy horses for a minute, who we had our first school visit of the year, and that's Circus, of course, and in his little trailer van there, waiting to go out and do his kindness book with the children at the school. And we really, really had a fantastic turnout. And not just that, but I want to say thank you to Dr. Diane Gullett, who is Marion County's school superintendent. And all of this is happening because she met with us a couple of years ago and really helped push equine education for all age groups, kindergarten through high school. And this is part of that program. And the Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha at the CEP, is working very, very, very hard to make sure that all children get to touch and meet horses in all walks of life in all areas of town. And that is Dr. Gullett there with Circus. And she was grinning from ear to ear to see these kids get to meet these horses. And how about having a book? How about having a book And the character in it,
comes out. I would have gone nuts.
Yes, me too. And that is Dr. Gullett, who herself was that little girl who really, really wanted a horse when she was growing up, and her parents couldn't afford it. And so she knows that sometimes there isn't an open door for young folks to have the opportunities that some of us have been fortunate enough to have. And that is the school, standing between George and I is the school, we would say headmistress in England, principal, there you go, I was switching back to the good old days. Yes, and she is the most lovely lady, and she was so excited to hear that we were going to be visiting middle schools as well with the Florida Mounted. Because she has a daughter in one of the middle schools, so she was thrilled. So hats off to George and Debbie at Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses for doing such a phenomenal job. They actually met with 744 students that day.
Wow.
And spent a half a day in this terribly warm weather outside, putting spots on a horse and saying kind things.
Kind things. 700 kind things were said.
Yes.
Or over 700.
Yes, and I took the paint down the line, and they all got to dip their finger and put their paint finger on Circus and say a kind thing. So really,
that's such a great
isn't it?
Program.
Oh
and,
my gosh!
And the one picture I loved was George's best side. If Isaac can come back with George's best side picture, I just want to give him a hard time there.
Yeah, that's
nice, George.
Well done.
So if you're listening on the radio, it's got George's backside and then Circus beside
and then Circus, yeah. But what a great program that is. So if you're looking, for 501c3s who are absolutely worthy, Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses and their education and literacy programs that they do throughout the libraries in the summer, they do at the market right here at the CEP building. And then they also visit all of the elementary schools during the school year. So they do great work.
And talking to Debbie about how particular they are with their horses, that's the amazing part of it.
Amazing. And very quick, we have a donkey. Very quick in this last minute. That is George at home with Bart, their donkey. And I'm sorry, but I got to say, I can't say enough about Gentle Carousel and all that they do. We love them. So Bart and George, we love you. And it was George's birthday this past week too, so happy belated.
Birthday.
Yes. We got to go, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world or not. Happy horsing around till the same time next week.
See ya.